The first step in getting support is understanding what dementia is. Changes are often small to start with and may go unnoticed, like changes to behaviour. As the dementia progresses, it will most likely start to affect daily life. An early diagnosis can make a huge difference to the person with dementia and their family and friends. The earlier support systems are put in place, the better.
What type of stuff do you do on a day-to-day basis when you're with carers, for instance?
Just to let them know that it is not only you. There are lots and lots of people, just to let them know that it is common. But you have to talk to somebody. Otherwise, don't hide, because you have to keep it on alert. Just to let them know.
And do you feel that's the same for your family group as well, talking to them openly about things?
Yeah. I mean, my family, they're all doctors and things, so so I read books and everything, so yeah. And I had my son, Rakesh, and he was to go to school and everything, so all had to be done at the right time, and yeah.
I can imagine. So staying active is very important.
Oh, yeah. And I also talk to parents. You have to talk. You can't keep hiding.
You're not alone in this. Share your experiences and fears. Finding connections and doing things that you love is very important. Open and honest communication with those around you is key. It can be useful to recognise uniforms and talk about them in a positive way. People in green scrubs are in support services and are here to work with you. Look into the local groups and activities and make the most of the opportunities available. We need to enable and empower people with dementia. There are many things that can be affected by dementia diagnosis. Things like everyone's perceptions of what is and will be possible. Often decision-making and independence can be taken away. Anxiety about safety and the oncoming effects of the disease are natural, but it's important to do as much as we can, for as long as we can. There are ways we can approach change and adjustment, but do not have to be daunting, and can be liberating and empowering.
Having a carer or somebody there within that system that is there to help you is not everybody's cup of tea. What would you advise people to think that might be thinking about, getting help like that?
Oh, I would advise anybody to get help. I've got a neighbour who can hardly see and she can't hear, but she won't get help. You've got to be able to go along with what you've got, and if you think that there's a chance of improving it, you've got to take it. It's as simple as that.
We just talked about the support networks of charities. How has your family and friends been around you? How's that support been, and how important is it for them to understand what you're going through?
I think everybody accepts what I'm going through, and they usually say, I know you've got dementia, but you don't seem as if you've got dementia. And I say, yes, but you can't go round saying to yourself, I've got dementia. And they say, oh, well, yeah, of course.
There is no right or wrong way to support someone living with dementia. However, here are some ways we can make adjustments to everyday life that are helpful for people with dementia. Here are some basics, starting with making sure the environment around them is comfortable and accessible. It is very important to think about inclusion and making changes with the person who needs support. It is important to understand each individual's preferences, needs, likes, and dislikes. Some of the following suggestions may be really helpful. Some of them may not. Remember, every individual's experience with dementia is unique, so there is no one-size-fits-all approach. Sight and hearing problems are linked with dementia. You could have lots of uninterrupted natural light where possible. Try to use contrasting colours to make it easier to see writing or edges. Have quiet spaces available where you can reduce background noise. It might be helpful to use signs, pictures, or labels to help people easily navigate the world around them. Stimulating the senses is really important to keeping your brain active. Going outside or surrounding yourself with things that are nice to look at, feel, smell, and see. Play music. Music can have a profoundly positive impact on individuals with dementia. Music therapy, which involves listening to or performing music, has been shown to provide a multitude of benefits for dementia patients. Music can act as a bridge to memories, even in advanced stages of the disease. Familiar melodies and rhythms can invoke recollections of past experiences and emotions, offering a sense of comfort and connection to personal history. Life story work can be very effective for people with dementia and their family and friends. It involves recording the most important aspects of someone's past and present life. It's an ongoing process. We work with the person with dementia and their family and friends to create books, photo albums, pictures, playlists of music, and collecting objects which carry a lot of meaning to the individual.
And do you think it's important for you to get out and exercise as well?
Yes, they have to. They have to. They have to do it for themselves, not for others, for yourself. Keeping your mind and everything. And then start walking. Make a group. Make a group. So they can go somewhere together and they talk to each other and say, what did you do yesterday? So that also, to remind them, they have to remember. So there are people who are getting older. They need to have that as well. So then they think, good, I should do that, and I'll talk to people to do that. And if they have a book, they can write down, today I went here, so what did you do today? So they have a book, where they went and where they came. So when they came back, then they'll remember, suddenly flash. Oh, yes.
Let's talk about communicating with someone who has dementia. Sometimes people with dementia may experience some difficulties in communicating, difficulty finding or pronouncing the right words. Problems following a conversation can sometimes occur. It is important to remember that the desire to communicate doesn't go away, so patience and support is important. Being empathetic to the person's situation is the best thing we can do to support them. Look at the situation and put yourselves in their shoes. If someone seems distressed, we can ask them how we can help them. If they are finding it difficult to explain, find out if there is something obvious causing it. Is there something they might be reacting to, or a trigger? Get to their level or below. Sit next to them. Hold their hand to calm and reassure them. Try to feel with them rather than focus on their reactions or behaviours. The most important thing is to be understanding of the person with dementia. There are times when it might seem hard or frustrating, and some of the things a person with dementia says are not quite right, even though they are saying these things with authority. If they are recalling a memory that you have shared with them, but some of what they are reminiscing isn't quite correct, such as the time or location the memory took place, do not feel the need to correct them. Share the feeling of the memory as though it is very much truthful to both of you. Make the interaction meaningful rather than focusing on accuracy.
What type of help have you got from friends, family, and the support networks? Can you talk to that, and what would you recommend, and how would you go about talking about that?
I get a lot of help from Afro and early onset dementia team. I get lots of help. They're brilliant. They're really brilliant. And it's so nice to see, when I've gone into that church oil, it was so nice to see that, other patients like me. They were lovely. And they just seemed so happy, which was nice.
And do you think it's better to give you another network of friends or another network of...
Yeah. I think when I went to this church hall, it was like singing, and I think in a couple of years' time I would be at that stage. I felt rude about it, but yeah.
So would you recommend people that, you know, might want to that, and why would you recommend it for people to go and stuff, to do stuff like that?
Because it's nice, and you can see the carers that really do care, and they're so helpful, and they come up with loads of different ideas, just so they're not bored, or, you know, but it's lovely what they're doing.